is gonna be in the main event. So you think him showing up over there? Excuse me, I'm a little sick. But you think him showing up at TNA, he's gonna win the title just because he's like a big name? No, I'm asking you. Like, do you think he's gonna win the title tonight in the main event because he's such a big star? Well,
because they were WWE and let go. Because I feel like that's why some of these companies hire them because they were on WWE.
exactly.
WWE, oh, it's a big deal, and they get let go, and then they snatch them up. But then when they get to these other locker rooms, it's like, oh, this guy was on WWE. And a lot of people, hate to say, a lot of them never gonna get to be on WWE. Like WWE, because its history is always gonna be up here. And, they fall in line somewhere. It's also about what you like and the product that they make.
Yeah, and that's the other thing
WWE is just
that I was gonna tell you is because with them, anybody who comes from WWE will probably get that title. Like Naomi left, and that next month she got the title, and then she kept the title for the rest of like 4 to 5 months, and then she dropped the title right before the Royal Rumble. So it's like I feel like WWE people get like a little special treatment in other companies, and
yeah,
then
that's what I'm saying because they come from WWE. It's like, oh
yeah,
my God, it's this guy. There's certain people too that it don't even matter. Like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, they can go anywhere and they're gonna get special treatment because they're Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
Like
and look
like
at that right
Hulk
now, Ric
Hogan can pop
Flair.
up today.
What you said?
Hulk Hogan could pop up today at the TNA event unannounced, and the crowd will go crazy because he's Hulk Hogan. Or they might boo him. It could go either way, but he's gonna get special treatment.
Yeah, and it's like right now, Ric Flair. Ric Flair's in AEW, and
Yeah,
he came in
guys
right
want juice.
before Sting retired, and he's still there. So it's like
Yeah,
when they need money, they be like, "Yo, Ric Flair, show up, like make the show pop," and they give him like a 15-minute segment, and then like the building gets packed because they're like, "Oh snap, Ric Flair's gonna say something." You get me? And it could be nothing,
yeah.
or it could be like him beefing with Tony Khan, or like him trying to do something out of the ordinary. But it's Ric Flair, so it's like you're gonna get a pop, you're gonna get more people in the
How do you
arena.
How do you feel about Tony Khan and them putting out the footage of what happened with CM Punk the week after WrestleMania?
For me, I didn't like that. I felt like it was something that was dumb, and I felt like they kind of fell into a trap because CM Punk is the only one that wins. Because now CM Punk is in WWE, he got his money, and when he got asked a question, he was on a podcast. He wasn't doing it on live TV. So then, by them
Yeah,
airing the footage, and then Will Ospreay taking shots at Triple H on that
yeah,
Dynamite, they were wasting the fans' time, and then bringing up something that happened almost 8 9 months ago. Because when it hits August, it's about a year. So it's like almost
yeah,
we're getting to that year mark of like, yo, you can't let it go. And it shows that Tony Khan is not a real businessman. He's like a little kid who has money and wants all his toys, and he got all his toys right next, like available to him. You get me? He sure is a great
yeah.
guy for getting all these people paid and having, a stack roster. But when you do stuff like that, you kind of like, what? Like, I didn't even know about the interview with Triple H or anything like that. All I knew about was the
Until
footage.
then, right?
So I'm like, you're kind of bringing
Same for me.
attention that you don't need. Like,
Yeah, because it's like this. You didn't know about the interview with Triple H, but then now you know about it, so you go back and watch it. So now Triple H is getting more attention being interrupted. I don't have an iPad. Your sister has
it. Yeah.
All right, close the door. Okay, don't close the door. Anyway,
Yeah. So
I feel like this.
yeah.
If you remember during the Monday Night Wars, you want to come and talk too? If you remember during the Monday Night Wars, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff used to always talk about WWE this and WWE that, and that's I think what kind of ruined them. Because if you remember when Mankind and the Undertaker, they had that legendary match where he threw him off the steel cage. A lot of people were watching Monday Night Nitro, and they changed the channel because of what he said. Like, all these guys are over there doing this, and like, wait, what? So they went and changed the channel. So it's like instead of focusing on your product, you're bringing attention and more eyes onto their product by throwing shots. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, so, so you have a lot of that where they're always constantly throwing shots at the opponents. But then it's like, oh man, I'm being interrupted by my entire family. Huh? So then go get the iPad for her. Anyway,
Nah, don't worry, man. It's
but
fine. Remember, this is
now, what's I gonna say? So yeah, Eric Bischoff used to always do that. He used to always, oh no, don't change the channel because these guys are just doing this. But then if you're interested in it, you go and change the channel, right? Because it's
yeah.
like, wait a minute, when he said who's fighting who, let me go watch that over there. So that caused. I feel like that's what Tony Khan is doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Like Tony Khan.
and it's like the other time when Eric Bischoff, because remember, like Eric Bischoff used to release the recorded footage of WWF. So when Mankind won
Yeah.
the title on Raw, he was like, "Oh, look at this bum getting the title," and then everybody else was
You know
like,
what I was just
"Oh,
watching
Mankind
yesterday,
is getting
man?
the title. Let me go over there and watch it." You get me? Or let me,
Yeah.
So it was like it's like he's shooting himself in the foot. Like for me, I would have thought was like, okay, if Triple H and if CM Punk did, throwing shots in podcasts or interviews somewhere else, go to some popular guy, his podcast, and then fire shots at the same time. Uh, oh, look, somebody's in here. Credible content. Hey, what's up, Sean? View Entertainment. Thank you for joining us. This will be the second live take. The first one, kind of like YouTube. I don't know what happened to that link, but we're starting over. Yeah. So with that, like Tony Khan, I felt like should have just done that on the low. Did his own podcast, did his own thing over there. Because if you think about it, they released all of that during WrestleMania weekend. So you're like bringing more attention to WrestleMania than to the Dynasty pay per view that's tomorrow, which you would have 2 weeks to like fluff it up and have people get away from that. So then you could have just been like, throw shots on the low, don't throw shots on national television because that is going to be seen everywhere. If anything, whatever you had stashed, like maybe somebody's going to show up at the pay per view, have them show up on that Wednesday Night Dynamite during that segment where you release the footage, or release the footage like, oh, somebody went into the system and it got leaked and then it's on Twitter somewhere. You get me? Something like that. So then it'll be like a bad way. Exactly. Like, and you think TNA does that? TNA don't care. Hmm. Yeah. Ukes. Yeah,
Look, like which one of the Hardys just got DUI? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's like stuff like that. You want people like that that are in their 50s and 60s and they're still doing the same nonsense they was doing 40 years ago.
you can't. And then
You can't
this
you
is
can't
the
have that. So it's like you gotta like what Tony Khan needs to do is stop focusing on what WWE is doing and focus on building his brand. Yes. Where's Gabriel? I don't know. He's over there somewhere. You gotta go. He probably hiding from you.
yeah, and then
Yeah, he's downstairs. Maybe he's taking a bath. But Tony Khan is this, right? His father's rich, his father got money, and it's probably like, Dad, I want my own wrestling company. Dad, I want my own wrestling company. He said, what's his name? Chris Jericho, right? I found out about AEW. Because AEW is about as old as my second daughter, probably like what, 5 years old.
yeah,
A friend of mine told me about it. Yo, you know, they got this because he's a huge Attitude Era fan, and he's like, oh yeah, this is better than WWE. This and that. I'm like, yo, dude, all these guys are old. Like, I like them because you know they were who they are when we was kids, but it's not the same. Like, I want to see new young people who can do backflips and stuff like that. Not somebody who's just doing it for a paycheck because they snorted all their money away.
yeah. And the other thing too was
AEW, I'm sorry I cut you off. AEW is not bad. You know, everybody got their own opinion. I just think that the AEW fans, like they hate WWE fans. I'm not. Obviously, I got all this WWE stuff on the table, but I'm a fan of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I'm a
yeah,
fan of the sport or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, and
So I don't really care about the brand as much. I care about the production and how it looks and how it's presented. I also feel like AEW doesn't focus too much on storylines. Like the show comes on and people just come out and there's no story, there's no nothing. Like, cause to me, wrestling is supposed to be like a novela, you know, like a soap opera.
yeah. And you're like, yo, you want to see something built up. You don't want to see like, oh, these two guys fought here and there, and then that's it.
You know,
And
but
for me,
I'm glad that you invited me to do this, man, because I'm definitely gonna start watching TNA. Like I've been watching TNA religiously for like, not gonna say religiously, because it's on the Samsung TV app. Like if anybody who has a Samsung TV or even a smart TV, a Roku TV, they
yeah,
have a channel where they give TNA all day long. But the thing is, they're not gonna give this week. You get what I'm saying? Like for free. It's just showing everything, old TNA, new TNA. So you'll see that famous I think it was was it Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, where he's doing all that math. You remember
yeah,
that?
yeah,
You remember
yeah, yeah.
that
It was
that math?
Scott Steiner.
I've seen that one like probably, I've seen that probably like 40 times this year. They show Jay Lethal beating up Ric Flair like every day on that channel. So when I'm working out, I put it on as you know, like background noise, whatever. But it's still very entertaining. And when compared, and you know, there's certain matches, I get you can tell the difference when they got bought out and they the crowd, I'm telling you, man, the crowd and the fans, we're the ones that make it what it is. I've only been to two events in my life. One was last July with my daughter. I went to Monday Night Raw for the first time, and the first time I went to a holiday special here in Atlanta. It was a house show. I got very good seats. But you know something? When the fans start to boo somebody, you want to boo them too. I don't even. You might not even know who they are. Fuck it. Everybody's booing them. You booing them. The fans make it exciting, and the fans are the ones that make the wrestlers want to perform. Because there's been matches like in documentaries that I've seen, like when Rich McMahon tried to bring ECW back. I think he had Batista wrestle. Who Batista wrestled? He wrestled somebody else from that same. I don't know if it's Randy Orton, It was some match that he wrestled somebody and it was horrible.
Who,
Because fans
Batista?
weren't into it. They just wasn't into it. It just was like, you know,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's kind of hard, like to think back to which match you're like who it was, because like if you don't know the name, I can't really like trying to think like what happened in that match. Like what was it?
it was. I know Batista was in it, and the crowd was just booing them. And you know, like when you're a performer and you're like an artist or whatever, and if you're performing for a crowd, people could sit here and say wrestling is fake, wrestling is this and that, third, whatever. They still have to. You still have to be able to do a backflip. You can sit here and be like, your wrestling is fake. You can't 619 nobody. People can't do backflips. They're not super sending nobody F5 all of this. So I feel like when the crowd is like, it's one thing to get booed, like Dominic Mysterio gets booed, where that's part of his thing. But then
Yeah,
it's a different type of boo when like, nah, this shit just sucks. Like it's not even entertaining. Like it throws off the wrestler's whole, like the wrestler's whole aura. Like the way they even put the show together. Like they don't even probably want to like, I just gotta let's just wrap this up.
and
You
and
know,
the first time I actually saw that was with Goldberg in WCW when
you
he
talking about?
fought William
I knew you were gonna
Regal
say
for
that.
like
You talking about
20,
when his
like
streak
20
was
twenty
broken
five
or whatever?
minutes.
Because he used to only wrestle for like a minute.
Yeah, like his entrance was his whole thing. He'll come in, he'll like bop you 2 or 3 times, spear you, jackhammer, and then he'll bounce. But then when he had to wrestle William Regal for what was it, like
Yeah,
20
it was
twenty
William
five
Regal
minutes, William Regal was like, I got it. Like the
carrying the
boss
match.
told me, let me get this guy through the match. But you see, like he's tripping over like minor stuff. He can't like put his arm behind his back. He couldn't really do a good suplex. It was like you watch, like it was like Goldberg was like failing at a slow motion kind of situation, and all he was
Nah,
doing was power moves. Like you can't.
I don't think he was failing. I think he was just exposed. Because here's the thing with Goldberg, right? Goldberg was he played in the NFL. That's what his fear is, just him tackling somebody, right?
Yeah,
During the Monday Night Wars, during the Monday Night Wars, this guy Eric Bischoff, he watched what WWE was doing. He slandered them a lot. At that time, when they brought Goldberg out, it was so obvious. Stone Cold was up here. It was Stone Cold was selling tickets. Everybody's coming to see Stone Cold. So Goldberg, you got another bald-headed guy, white guy with a goatee. If you don't watch wrestling, and I say, yo, this is a guy named Stone Cold. He what he look like? He's bald-headed with a goatee. He's a man. And he's like, all right, whatever. And you flicking the channels, and you get on WCW, you see Goldberg beating people up in 1 minute. If you don't really know too much, you don't think, oh, this is probably the guy that they were telling me about, right? Because he's looking like by description, whatever.
yeah,
I
and
feel like
they
with
dressed the
that,
same too at the beginning, like
exactly. Only
black tights, black knee pads,
yeah,
black
Goldberg
boots.
was more like jacked up at that time. But when he did the match with William Regal, the truth came out. He's not a wrestler. He was a football. It's just, they just they just repackaged the sphere into the tackle into the sphere, and that was that. It wasn't like he was he knew what he was doing. So William Regal had to guide him through that match. It was certain things like that. I'm sorry, hold on. Where
No, it's good. You were good, I guess. It just froze for a little bit.
nah,
Well, oh, you got stuff to do now, or
man, I'll be trying to tell Ben. You got because well he missed it. He could rewatch it, but that was a time that you had to like it's like these things you had to experience. The Attitude Era, people this is WWE, but the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars is the same thing because it was happening at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like the Attitude Era was whatever that era for WWE, but during
Yeah,
that whole era, you also had the Monday Night Wars. So if you only watched like one brand, then you missed out on a lot, man. Because
yeah, and I get it. It was more like when it like like when we got the X. You're good. You're good. I was saying like at that same time we had the X, we ended up getting the NWO, and then we got the Wolfpack, and then we got LWO, and then you had like three different people like beefing in one program. Like yeah, and like NWO was like WCW version of the DX. Yeah, and that was the thing. It was like because it was like Hulk Hogan was the black and white NWO leader, and then Kevin Nash left, and he was the Wolfpack leader. And
yeah,
then
I mean,
like
so technically they were all friends. They were all a clique.
yeah,
That's why if you pay attention, 1, 2, 3 Kid, he was in both of them.
yeah.
Wasn't
So it
one,
was
two,
like
three Kid in both of them?
yeah, but that was I think after he left
Huh?
WWE. So he was like DX, and then after he left WWF, he went over and became part of the Wolfpack. But he was I think he was called Six Pack or
And they had
something.
Sting, and that's when they made Sting, because he used to wear his face paint different colors. But that's when he started wearing the black and white, and then he went to Wolfpack. It was black and red. I still watch WCW Monday. I just haven't watched any of their papers. Huh?
Yeah. Nah, you're good. You're good. Why? What happened?
I'm sorry.
Eh,
Nah, I just had to. I'm trying to put because I had my phone on my screen mirror of my TV, but then for whatever reason it kicked me out. This TV just give me problems, but it is what it
Oh no,
is.
that's probably what it was like when it's buffering. If you're gonna do like the TV stuff. Nah, but it don't
Okay.
matter. Or maybe next time, if you got like a little laptop or something or another phone, you could do it. Yeah, I was thinking the same
Yeah,
thing, just
but
because
I will have to.
I think the screen is wider, right, on the laptop. The screen will be wider on the
Huh?
laptop, right?
Yeah. The phone right now, if you was to see how I got this position, I
I got a
take the
little
pressure away
stand.
like
I
that.
got a little
But
look, I got like a little
what
stand right
happened?
here that I do like the videos on because I don't use no other like no camera.
Tell your mom to come over here. What? Tell your mom to come over here quietly.
Nah, you're gonna put it on TV. On, you're gonna put it on the
Huh?
YouTube, bro.
Nah,
Well, I think like Brock Lesnar got cleared because he's still under the WWE contract. So I think Triple H said it in one of the press conference that Brock is, home being Brock, and they haven't released him. But
okay.
with Vince McMahon, like he finished selling off all the shares, so he's not part of WWE no more. So until he
But they're
gets
saying
the,
that they're saying he's starting his own wrestling company now.
I don't know, bro. It's hard. And then the other thing that came out too was they were showing it in the news. Look, and this is how you know Vince McMahon is up there. There was like if Donald Trump wins, Donald Trump could pardon Vince McMahon for his past crimes, bro. That's something OD, bro. That's how you know like his circle and WWE is like way
Listen, man,
up there and connected,
I'm
bro.
not I'm not siding with the guy or what he did
Yeah,
or what he didn't do. I just feel like a lot of times it's people make accusations, and once you get accused of something, that's it. Like people don't need proof, wait for proof to come out because there's no. I'm not gonna say there's no 100% proof, but I also feel like a lot of times when people's money gets low,
yeah,
he gonna have to go back home. He has to face his wife, his daughter. Leave him. Who knows? You know, it's one of those things. I personally think Rich McMahon needs to just for years he has left.
yeah. Like that was the whole wave of like having him there.
But for him, at what age? What he's like 75? He's gonna or whatever, however old he is, he's gonna start another wrestling company. Dog, that's not happening, man.
Nah,
That's not happening.
but
He's
at
done
the
burned too
same
many
time,
bridges
it's
by
like
now.
since when people are connected, especially like in wrestling, they're gonna find a way to do it because perfect example. Look at Tony Khan. He was like, I want to do something like WWE, and then he did it, and then he was like, oh, WWE bought WCW and ECW. I could do that too. And he bought Ring of Honor. You get me? Like he bought Ring of Honor for $10 million. Like so, the only bad thing about that was he couldn't get Ring of Honor a TV deal. You get me? So they're only on like their little honor club, which is like a network type of situation. Yeah, and I don't know, like yeah, and that's another thing that I find like you we just have to wait. And when it comes to waiting, is like while we're waiting, let's watch other wrestling. Might as well, right? And thinking about it, like we get wrestling every single day of the week almost. Cause you get what is it? You got Monday Night Raw. Tuesday night you get NXT. Wednesday you get Dynamite. Thursday you get the TNA shows. Friday you get SmackDown and AW Rampage. You know what I mean? And then Saturday, you get all because of the whole racist thing that he went you cut off one. I can't hear you good. Yo, you cut Juan. What you were saying about Hulk Hogan? Oh,
booed a lot. But
oh, in Crown Jewel, right? I think it was something like that. The
was it
Crown Jewel
Crown
pay.
Jewel? I don't know, man. We had when we was growing up, we didn't have all these pay per views. There's probably like four of them a year. Like I
Yeah,
just when I was a kid, I remember Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam.
and
Now we
what
got
was
one
the other
every
one
month.
in your house?
This is a
The
pay per
other
view.
one, the other one that they
Huh?
always made popular in your house. That pay per view.
In
Remember
your house, yeah, in your
WWF
house,
in your
yeah,
house?
yeah. I remember that in your house.
That one was tough. And then like on the
They got rid of that.
WCW end, you had like Bash at the Beach,
Halloween Havoc.
yeah, Halloween Havoc, Great American Bash,
Yeah,
and what was the other one? Um, something. I think it was like something Splash. I don't know. It was something weird. Like they always had those weird names, but that was like each company had like their main like four main pay per views that people are gonna show up. New wrestlers, people who just left WWE or left WCW, are just gonna switch sides and all that stuff. And I was like, yo, that was kind of fire. And then look, today at TNA, they're already hinting that a lot of people are gonna show up, like maybe one or two minimum
yeah.
one from AW and then one
From
from
WWE.
yeah. And I feel
So
like
wait, hold on.
it's
TNA does they do like cross with AEW as well because we saw Jordan Grace at the Royal Rumble, so we know that they're willing to do shows with WWE, but they do them with AEW as well. Because I know AEW doesn't with anybody, like whether it be New Japan or whatever. Like 'cause Eddie Kingston got like belts from every league, every promotion.
yeah. Yeah, so like the way that TNA did it with WWE was that Naomi they wanted Naomi for the Royal Rumble, but her contract wasn't over yet. And they were like, "We'll let her contract go if you let Jordan Grace show up at the Royal Rumble with the title." And then that's how they were able to like get Naomi into Royal Rumble and then also put the TNA belt on WWE TV. But then if you think back, I think it was 2 years before that.
I hope people like Jordan Grace for you in your career.
Yeah.
But as a fan, I also feel like everybody can't just be on one brand. Then it just gets like oversaturated. I'd rather see more or this group of people versus that group of people. Hey man, can you do me a favor? Can you pour me one in here? I'm on TV. You're not in my phone.
And then with the AW stuff, how they did it with Impact was since Kenny Omega
Here's
was
the thing.
like,
I'm sorry to cut you off again. Was the Impact like one of the flagship shows and then they changed it to the name?
yeah, because remember it
Impact was
was
like Monday Night Raw. It's like WWE changed the name to Raw, right?
yeah something like that. But they were because like when TNA Impact, well, it was TNA, then it was TNA Impact, and then they switched off just to Impact. Then like the rights were sold, so you couldn't get it until I think it was this year, like 2024. So when it
Okay.
came down to the like AW doing stuff with Impact before they changed the name, it was because Kenny Omega and the bald guy Don Callis that was with he was vice president over there. So he was like, we're gonna get money doing cross promotional stuff because Kenny Omega at that time was hot, like to the point that he held the AAA Mexican Championship. It's called the Omega Championship title. He had the Impact Championship
Yeah,
title.
I like Kenny Omega.
He had the
Kenny
AEW
Omega's like
one, and he had the New Japan Pro Wrestling one, bro. He had four different shows and their title. So I'm like, you can't have a better wrestler there. And because Kenny Omega does everything. That's what What happened? Yeah, and yeah, yeah,
On top. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And
Like,
like,
imagine if you watch the Royal Rumble and you hear that glass shatter, number 20, Stone Cold.
boom,
Obviously, he's not going to perform like Stone Cold did 20, 30 years ago. But, fans. Here's the thing, man. Like, The Undertaker's always going to be The Undertaker. Stone Cold's always going to be Stone Cold. Dwayne Johnson, he can put as many whack movies with Kevin Hart as he want to put out. He's always going to be The Rock. That's why he had to come back. Ain't nobody watching him. So, it's like once this is your character, and I feel like once you like build the fan base, this is what the people know you as. So it's like Rakishi is always gonna be Rakishi. The big shows of Mark Henry, like these people are always gonna be who they are. So they can always pull up at any brand, in my opinion,
yeah,
and even if they don't perform to like the best potential, like because you don't expect them to. These guys are already in their 50s and 60s. But even if they do one or two moves, people go crazy. Like when Stone Cold came out the WrestleMania 2 years ago, and he stunned. Even though Vince McMahon old as shit, so he kind of boxed the stunner. You know what I'm saying? People still
yeah.
went crazy because it brings them back to those days. So I would like to see that more at the Royal Rumbles. Like bring out an X Pac, bring
Or
out this
like
guy.
like
Bring out,
basically like have like 22 wrestlers be regular wrestlers and then like eight be legends come out kind of thing.
bring them out, and then you have two legends stare each other down. You might have Dudley stare down Booker T, and you're like, oh shit, look, it's this. Or I'm not gonna say the Hardys because they're over there at AEW, but it's possible. Anything can happen.
Or like you could have like Kane and Undertaker like face off or something. Something like
I
that.
don't know about Kane, man, because ain't he like the governor or something?
Yeah, but he still comes back. Like he still did. I think he came back like 2 years ago to do something on Raw, and then and that. But still, I'm saying like there's always that factor. Like, hey, he could do it. You get me? And then what I like about like going back to what you were saying with like that whole thing about AW airing the footage on national television. I feel like TNA does a great job by not doing that and then doing the opposite. Like, oh, you kind of threw a shot. Well, I'll wait for the right moment and then we'll put TNA on your product. You get me? Or we'll try to do something different and bring the attention our way. Because not for nothing, like you having today, we're gonna have Dolph Ziggler on the main event. Like you telling me people are not gonna tune in just because Dolph Ziggler is in the main event? Like
Yeah, they are.
yeah, so it's like and especially on a Saturday, and that's another thing. Like they noticed something and they switched it up. Like remember how WWE used to do pay per views on Sunday and then they started doing it on Saturday? TNA was like,
Yeah,
oh, we usually do it on Saturday. We're not trying to compete at 8 p.m. with WWE, so we're gonna do it on Friday. So then they'll have the Thursday night show, and then Friday they'll give you a pay per view, which is better because then they'll just be competing with SmackDown. So it's like SmackDown competing with a pay per view, then a pay
yeah,
per view and a pay per view. It's kind of that's the smart thing. And then Tony Khan is not doing those kind of moves. Like he'll kind of go on his own way. He's like, we got better wrestlers too. Like we could keep going. And I'm like, that's not the way to go. That's not.
yeah. Like I'm sorry, if WWE has a pay per view on a Saturday, then you shouldn't have your pay per view on a Saturday too, because you know which one people are gonna watch. Or not even like two companies should have had. He keeps
Oh yeah, for the Saturday Night Collision. Yeah, no, it was Thunder. It was Thunder. Yeah, it was Thursday Night Thunder.
He gonna drop Thursday Night Lightning like
Nah, and the other thing too was like I like the upgrade that he did for the Dynamite, putting LED stuff, but it kind of looks like the
yeah,
NXT 2.0 with the paint, with the paint splatter and all that. And
yeah.
I'm like, you need to like do something different.
Oh, you talking about the NXT logo that had the paint splatter, the paintball splatter all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
I
So
like
that's
that.
how it
Yeah,
kind of looks over there. Just instead of being paintball, like it has all those bright colors, but it's like kind of different lines. But it looks like it's the same vibe because it's on an LED board. So the LED kind of makes those the colors pop. And that's another thing that I noticed. It was like too much of the of it's like similar, and I get it. Like you're trying to make it look like WWE, so people can look at it, so it could be like, okay, that's what it's gonna be like. But at the same
yeah.
time, you can't. If you're trying to be different 100%. Don't be like, I'm gonna get 70% of the roster is gonna be old and retired veterans or people who are going to retire, and then mix them with the new guys and teach them something,
Yeah.
and then have everything look similar. It's kind of like, for what?
I think what thing with Tony Khan is because look, shit, damn near everybody, even his announcers are old WWE announcers.
Yeah, like I think like yeah, and no, he got Jim Ross. He got Jim Ross. Taz. He got Tony Schiavone, that was former WCW announcer.
But stuff like that. I don't know, man. I like AEW. The other day, I posted on Facebook, that group I added you to. And I was like, AEW's not bad. They just need to stop focusing on what WWE's doing. And everybody was like, nah, man, that shit is terrible. It can't be that bad if it's been on for 5 years, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and for me, I
They
feel
still
like
need companies.
they just coming into their own stuff. And the reason why I say that is because like they basically started the company right before the pandemic. So it's like you can't
Yeah.
what you expect, like you can't go hard. It's COVID, like it's gonna be empty arenas for a year and a half, 2 years. Like
Yeah. And I don't even think they did what WWE did with the. I don't know because I wasn't watching it. But remember during the pandemic, it was pretty cool when WWE started implementing the TV screens as the
yeah,
audience. That was pretty dope because you got to see people in their house and you still have an audience there somewhat, better than an empty arena that's just quiet. So that
yeah,
was pretty cool too. When that was something new and different during the pandemic that I enjoyed watching. I don't know if TNA and these other companies, because again, like I watch it, but I don't watch them religiously. Where I'm like, oh shit, it's Wednesday, this or that. Like if it's a pay per view, I'll put it on. AEW pay per views, I watch AEW pay per views. I feel like they do a great job with their pay per views. I feel like TNA does a great job with their pay per views. I actually think TNA is better than AEW, even though AEW seems to be more popular. I think
yeah,
I like TNA because TNA doesn't focus on what WWE is doing. They're more like, all right, they're over there, cool, they are who they are, but we're gonna do our own thing. I feel like every time I tune into AEW, it's like watching like a rap battle or some shit. Like they're throwing subs all day. Like I tuned in the other day, and this guy's talking about, oh, this guy's sound grind. He only got the job because he's grinding on the boss's daughter. So it's like, okay, why are you talking about Triple H, man? Because in the future, who knows? You might get let go from here and might want to work over there. And Triple H might not forget what you said about him and Stephanie. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So these guys are burning that they don't even need to be burning.
Exactly. And then like and
Like
the other
you
thing,
gotta let somebody like Edge, like when Edge said the WrestleMania weekend, he was like, we're the ones making sports entertainment what it is. I'm gonna retire here. He could say that because he already built his legacy. We already know he's not going back to WWE.
yeah, yeah, yo, you know, it's funny that it's like it's too much to the point that they're like focusing on the like too much during the week about what WWE is doing, and then you only get fire pay per views. You don't get no nice weekly shows. It's like, oh, they did something, we gotta switch it up and do something similar. And then, yeah, and like for me, when it comes to TNA, like I kind of don't watch it every single Thursday just because by the time I remember it's like 9 o'clock. So I'm like, oh snap, it's nine. Maybe I'll watch an hour, whatever it is. But if not, I'll just get the recap, something like that on like at 7 p.m. and from 7 to 8 on the pay per view date. They always run that recap, and then you kind of okay, they filled in the blanks for me, and that pay per view card looks fire, so I'm gonna watch it. You know what I mean? And where AW is like they had 2 weeks to build off of that, and then you had like it was like what you said, like how you got Will Ospreay taking shots at Triple H, the like 4 days after the big like no what was it like 3 days after the biggest WrestleMania ever. You cannot go and be like, oh, this guy only got to this position because he got married with Stephanie. No, bro, this nigga just booked the best WrestleMania ever. He had The Rock, Undertaker, Cena, Cody, and Roman with Seth in the same match. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And he made it work. It wasn't like no
You
whack,
know
like
what I
one,
say
two,
about
three. It was a storyline that was built for 2 years long, and they kept going with it. Like,
people talk about the way Cody just won his belt. Oh, he won his belt. And he had John Cena come out. He had Undertaker come out. Just fine. He had the Undertaker come out. Who else? He had Seth Rollins come out in his Shield outfit. I see it like this. If anything, um, Roman Reigns lost his belt in a legendary way. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Because in order for him to lose his belt, the Undertaker had to come out. John Cena had to come out. You know, there's two ways you could look at it. You could look at Cody Rhodes had all these people help him to help him win, and that was legendary. Or you could look at it like, yo, this guy, he it took so much for him to lose his belt that he needed everybody, you know what I'm saying, to help him lose the belt. That's one way I see it. Like when the Shield music came on, I'm like, wait, the Shield? Because I know Dean is over there at AEW, so I knew
yeah.
he
I
wasn't
thought
coming
D was gonna show up. I swear. I was like, is the right? That ass, bro. Yeah, but it kind of all worked together because he got payback. Like Roman Reigns got payback from like 8 years ago when Seth Rollins slayed him and left for to be like corporate Seth Rollins with Triple H, like and do all of that. So I was like, wow, like it was a lot. And look, this is the shirt that came in the mail finally. Like I still got the tag. Yeah, look, it's like half Cody and half like Seth. It's kind of big the shirt,
up.
but I still got the tag because I'm like, remember how we ordered it for WrestleMania weekend? And thinking dumb late, bro. That's the Stone,
So come
but
on.
that's from Chalkline, right?
Yeah, from Chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna re-release this one again though. But I try to. They had a sale the other day, like 15%, and I got myself some stuff for my birthday. But I try I try to order from them. I'm a big ass kid at heart, man. Like I just like wearing certain things, especially like a lot of the chalk line jackets that they put out.
Yeah.
Like I bought the jean jacket. The last jacket I bought was one that Vince McMahon used to wear. He used to wear a denim jacket, like a jean jacket.
Oh, the black one, right? With the red, with the
Yeah, so it's like they dropped that again. Like, oh yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting that. Like, in all reality, you're not these online, but you're not gonna bump time to have them on unless you go to like a wrestling event. Like me, wearing a hat and shirt and baseball jersey from WrestleMania 18, and I was watching WrestleMania 18. That's the one where The Rock and Hulk Hogan. Well, Hollywood Hogan because he came in his NWO attire, even though it wasn't the same. Like when NWO went to WWE, it wasn't the same.
yeah. And that's another thing too is like I don't know if you noticed, but well, everybody's noticing it now. It's like everything '90s is coming back because whatever they trying to roll out now is garbage. Like you got to start bringing back everything old school because old school is what people want. Even like
You know what it is?
yeah,
If you listen to like whether it was music, whether it's sports, clothing, everything from the 80s and 90s, I feel that was authentic. Like people weren't trying to copy the next person. Everybody was trying to be original. I wasn't trying to be like you, and
yeah,
you wasn't trying to be like me. For the most part. Now, if you even like when you listen to rap music, everybody sounds the same. A lot of these wrestlers, too, they have the same look. Like Dolph Ziggler, I hate to use him as that, but look, he got the long blonde hair. How many wrestlers with long blonde hair must Shawn Michaels, Triple H. That's why Stone Cold Steve Austin when he first came out.
yeah.
They was all trying to look like Ric Flair with the long blonde hair, like Stone Cold. People don't realize that Stone Cold had long hair. He was just fed up, and it was just like, you know, he became
Yeah,
the person we like now. But a
and
lot of
we
these
got
guys,
the
even now, man.
and I feel like when ECW first started, they got that version of Stone Cold. You know, blonde hair, you know, attitude, era style, Stone Cold, like not caring, and then yeah, like you're gonna follow. Yeah, they all started over there with over there in ECW, like yeah, and before like WWF like gave no, I'm saying before WWF ever gave luchadors the opportunity, it was ECW. Like they gave all that cruiserweight thing to those wrestlers. Like you remember, like Rey Mysterio in ECW, that was like a wild Rey Mysterio. Like you could not, we didn't get that same Rey Mysterio in WCW or in
Now we got to water it down right now.
yeah.
Because WC,
The only huh?
but everybody says that ECW was just like a training camp for Vince.
Yeah, and that was because he
It was
never
like a
believed in
boot
the little
camp.
guy. Like he never liked the high flying.
They were saying that he was secretly funding that he secretly funded ECW. Because remember, Paul Heyman owned that. supposedly. But Paul Heyman was also Stone Cold's manager when he was studying Steve. He was
Yeah, and talking about that, I did see the like the documentary about like Paul Heyman, and he first started off like
yeah,
acting like he was a photographer, and then that's how he became part of the in crowd at all the main events. And if you look at Paul Heyman's history, he was in every single promotion. So it was like you see him in WCW, then you see him in NWA, you seen him in WWF, and then when he did ECW, it was like at first he ran with his own money, but then he kind of was going pop, and then he was like, "Yo, Vince, spot me some bread," and Vince was like, "Okay, give me some interest on it," because that's how you know like Paul Heyman was doing something good because he wasn't messing with Vince McMahon's product. He was just like, "I'm doing my own thing over here. You kind of a little bank for me, so spot me right now." You get me? It wasn't like, and then Vince gave him the money, so that's how you know that relationship wasn't bad. It was something good.
I remember the first time I put on ECW, they had a pay per view
Yeah.
on a Sunday, right? And I've also gone back and watched ECW, because it's all that's on the Peacock
Mhm.
app, right? So I've gone back, I watched ECW, but I remember the first time that I remember, like WCW and WWE. I don't remember the first time I saw it, but ECW because I was a fan. I was like I said, I was a fan of
Mhm.
wrestling, and I see these guys like they're just beating the shit out of each other. It didn't even look like
Yeah.
these guys matches was ECW match never ended. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't 1, 2, 3 counts in ECW matches. It was just straight up brawls, and somebody always came and interrupted the this. And I almost forgot, but you know what I was watching yesterday? I was watching WCW, and I'm in.
Yeah. You're cutting off one. You're cutting off. Yeah, you've been cutting off. Yeah, it's still kind of choppy. Nah, Juan. So if anything, we'll just end it here because we're hitting that. Um, we're hitting an hour here, and then we did like an hour on the other one. All right. Yeah, don't worry about it. We already did like 2 hours. We're good. You heard? Yeah. So if anything, I'll see you next Saturday. I'm gonna go around your way, and we'll open this one up. You heard? This is a this pre workout right here. The Unleashed and Nutri Cartel is called Yayo, bro. So we're gonna try this one out. All right, yo. So thank you for everybody joining us here for both live streams on this one and the other one that got cut off. If anything, I think next Thursday we're gonna do one live with Dansby. Hopefully the connection will be better. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah, I got you. So next time, yeah, we could do it off the laptop or something, whatever it is. All right.
I got
All
you,
right.
man.
All right. See you, man. Peace.
Thanks.